yogis, I'm Jade Ocean. Today we're going to be doing a nice, beautiful yoga flow. We're going to open up our bodies, we're going to build some energy, we're going to open our shoulders, our lower body, we're going to focus on focusing the mind. So when you guys are ready, let's come to the top of our mat. Just have maybe 2 blocks with you today, and that's all you're going to need. So I'll meet you at the top of your mat. We're going to come into a nice Tadasana pose. So go ahead and bring your feet about hips distance apart. Let's go ahead and just find our balance here. Let's root down. So making sure that we lift our toes up. Go ahead and relax the toes down. Press evenly into the front of the feet, the balls of the feet, the back, the heel area, lifting the arches up into the legs. We're lifting up through the legs, firming the front quads up, firming the side hips in, maybe pulling the tailbone down. We're up in the pelvis now. We're going to spin the inner thighs back as we pull the tailbone down. We're just trying to find that natural, pelvis curvature in the spine. We're going to just lift up through the spine. Take a deep inhale. Nice full breath into the belly, filling up the belly, filling up the lungs. Maybe lifting the shoulders up and back as we exhale, softening the ribs into the body, lifting up through the crown of the head, creating space in the neck, maybe having the arms open at the side with the palms facing forward. We're spinning the triceps back into the body. Deep inhale here, just creating space, just connecting with our breath, just taking a moment to notice how our minds are working this morning, how we're feeling, just noticing how the body feels. Maybe opening the palms up, energizing out through the fingers. One more deep inhale in, trying to create a little bit more space and length within each vertebrae. Grow a little bit taller, soften the face. On the next inhale, let's extend our arms straight out to the side, very carefully, very slowly. Reaching away from the body, creating space, fingertip to fingertip. Continue all the way up into our Utthita-sthasana. We're going to spin the triceps forward, reaching up, palms facing each other. Keep pulling the tailbone down, firming the navel up and into the body, activating our torso, our core. And then exhale, begin to internally rotate. So we're going to spin the triceps back, palms face down, and just extend the arms down. Perfect. And then on our next inhale, I want you guys to rotate in front of your body. So you're going to bring your hands out in front of you, rotate in front of you, go all the way up, shift your weight to the right foot, and then you're going to cross the left leg over behind the right leg. And then bring the backs of the palms together, kind of like a modified Garudasana. Deep inhale here. Begin to bend towards your right side. So we're pulling the legs in towards each other, lifting up through the pelvis, reaching that left shoulder up towards the sky or ceiling. And then deep inhale, we're going to press with our left body towards the left side, creating space in the left side body. Exhale, release the arms back out and around. We're going to shift back into our Tadasana and continue. So arms come at the side, Tadasana, reach them back in front of you. We're going to shift the weight to the left foot, cross the right foot back behind, and reach all the way up. Back of the palms to touch. Again, lifting up, pulling the legs in towards each other, reaching up through the body, and then begin to bend to your left side. We're pressing our right side body towards our right side. We're opening up our right side body. So we're going to deep inhale to create length. Exhale, maybe pressing a little bit deeper with that right side body. Exhale again. Extend the arms back down, around, coming back to Tadasana. Let's go back to the other side. Shift the weight to the right foot. We're going to cross the left leg behind the right leg, and then extend the arms out in front of you, cross them over. Backs the palms to touch. Deep inhale to reach, and then begin to bend towards the right side. So we're pressing the left side body out towards the left side. Keep pulling the tailbone down. Keep drawing those outer thighs in towards each other. Keep reaching. And on the exhale, release the arms back down. Let's come back to Tadasana, and then let's go back the other way. So shift to the left foot, cross right leg behind the left leg, extend the arms in front of you, all the way up. Deep inhale to extend up. I'm on my tippy toes on my right foot, and then begin to bend towards your left side. Deep inhale, opening up your right side body, noticing the tightness. And even in this compression in the ribs on the right side ribs, just try drawing the breath into that area. Try to expand. And exhale, release the arms in front of you. Go ahead and come to a little bit wider than, just a little bit wider than hips distance. Arms can come out to the side once again. Let's just take a moment to readjust ourselves. Maybe shake the shoulders out a little bit. Maybe just pressing down, rerouting down, lifting up through the body, just noticing space again. Releasing the breath. Open mouth, exhale, just to release it all. One more inhale. Keep the front thighs lifting up. Exhale one more time. On your next inhale, I want you to extend your hips. So we're going to tip our pelvis forward and then extend our arms out behind us, coming into a flying Ardha Uttanasana. So we're going to extend our hips back, keeping them over the heels, pressing evenly into the feet as we tip our pelvis over our legs to come into this half lift. My arms are rotating, so my triceps are rotating towards my body. My palms are facing the floor, energizing out through the fingertips. I'm pulling my shoulders down away from my ears, creating length, reaching with the crown of my head forward. Deep inhale, keeping my belly nice and firm. Exhale, release the body down, maybe bending the legs, bring the fingertips towards the floor, walking them up in front of you. This is an active Uttanasana. Deep inhale here, keeping the belly firm. Exhale. Again, inhale, let's lift halfway up, coming into our flying Ardha Uttanasana. Arms extending out away from us, pressing our shoulder blades into our body, creating space, firming the belly, pressing evenly into the feet, and then exhale, release the hands back down into our reaching Uttanasana. Maybe your chest comes to your thighs, you bend your knees. We want to maintain that nice line in our back. Stay for the inhale. Firm the belly for the exhale. Inhale once again. Let's coming back up. Arms come out behind us, reaching, flying in this half lift. And then exhale, release again into our forward fold. Arms extending out in front of us, fingertips on the floor, energizing through the fingertips to the ground, lifting up through the arms. And then when you're ready, go ahead and let's bend the left knee. So we're going to bend the left knee. We're going to straighten that right leg. We're going to keep the quad nice and firm to prevent it from locking out. So don't let your knee lock out. Deep inhale here. And then exhale, begin to fold forward. We're going to walk our hands around the right side of our body. So on the outer side of our right foot. And deep inhale here. So we're moving from the torso. Our hips are staying. My hips are shifting towards the left side here. So towards the bent knee. Inhale to come back forward, straightening both the legs, maybe bending them. Let's bend the right knee. Let's straighten out the left leg. And then deep inhale. Exhale. Begin to walk the hands now to the left side. So I'm pushing my hips to the right back corner. Opening up maybe you notice some stretching in your inner thigh. You may notice it in your back. You may notice it in your outer left leg. We're all different. Deep inhale, come back to the front. Exhale, fold a little deeper, maybe bending the knees. Inhale, lift halfway up to your flying Ardha Uttanasana. Again, keeping the belly nice and firm. Reaching, energizing out through the arms. So we're lifting the shoulders out away from our body and back. And then exhale, release the palms to the floor. We're going to press into the floor. Step back with your left foot. followed by your right foot. We're going to step back into a plank here. So in our plank, press evenly into the floor, rotate your triceps back. So you want to rotate them back, and then energize. So squeeze the arms towards each other to energize the chest and waken the chest. So I'm just going to shift on my toes here, just open my toes up a little bit, keep the tailbone firming down, keep the belly very strong here. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the knees to the floor, and we're just going to go ahead and release our bodies all the way down. So coming into a modified Bhujangasana. So elbows go back. We're just going to come all the way down. Release the forehead to the floor. Uncurl the toes. And then let's walk our hands out directly to the sides here. So my elbows are still bent. My hands are walking out to the sides alongside my shoulder, away from my body, and I'm coming up onto my fingertips. So I'm pressing into my fingertips. I call this a spider Bhujangasana. Pressing into my fingertips, lifting the palms of my hands up into my arms. My elbows are pointing up. I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs together, press my legs into the floor, pull my tailbone down towards my heels, lift my chest up to inhale, pulling my heart forward. And then we're going to begin to make these wave-like motions. So we're going from the right side to the left side. So I'm going to dip like I'm digging my left shoulder under, and then my right shoulder follows as my left pulls to the left and lifts up. My right shoulder just follows. Again, moving to the right, exhaling as I come down, pulling my left shoulder, digging, right follows. Lifting up, deep inhale here, energizing through the fingers, through the palms. Just keep this wave-like motion from right to left. Lift up, coming back to my right side, dig my left shoulder down. So I'm just lubricating and opening my shoulders up. Again, keep going. And inhale, exhale, and then when you come to the top, let's dip the right shoulder down. And then we're going to have the left shoulder follow as we pull to the right side, up and over, back to the left side, dip the right shoulder down. So we're just digging, we're creating these wave-like motions. My elbows are pointing more upwards. And keep breathing. Keep the thighs firm. Keep the tailbone pulling down. One more wave. And then when you're done, release your forehead to the floor. Draw your palms back underneath your elbows. Elbows are pointing straight back. I'm going to reset myself up, so I'm going to firm my thighs in, pull my outer hips in, firm my tailbone down. Deep inhale to press my palms into the floor. My elbows are pointing back. I'm going to inhale, lift my heart forward, and press up into a low cobra. Pull my heart forward. Keep my neck in line, just staring just a little bit in front on the floor. Deep inhale, exhale. Release, forehead to the floor. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. We're going to press up with our palms, opening the knees up just a little bit. We're going to come into our balasana. Deep inhale. Exhale. Come back up. Let's extend the hands forward. And then just release. So we're going to spin the triceps down. Toes are curled under. I'm going to walk my knees under my hips again, keeping my hips above my knees. Release my underarms towards the floor, opening my shoulders up, maybe releasing my forehead to the floor. Coming into my puppy dog pose. Actively pressing my palms into the floor for this soft back bend. Keep breathing. Exhale, I'm going to pull my body forward, keeping my elbows bending back, and then coming up into almost like a modified up dog, but my torso's off the floor, and then pull my hips up and back, rounding my back into this extended cat pose. So I'm rounding my belly up into my back, opening up my back, my shoulder blades, pulling them out away from my spine. I begin to sit my hips back and coming back into my puppy dog very carefully, my back bend. And my hips come up. My pelvis tilts forward. Again, I'm going to pull my heart forward, elbows facing back. And keep pulling my heart up. Very carefully lift my belly up, coming into my modified cat pose here. Deep inhale. Exhale, begin to Sink the hips back to come over top of the knees, release. And shoulders down to the floor. And one more time, let's pull the heart through, coming back up. So we're sort of creating these waves. Belly comes up into the back. We're spreading the back, coming into this modified or this extended forward cat pose. Deep inhale here. Exhale from the belly a little bit deeper. And then release the back, coming into our back bend. And then on the next inhale, let's come back up. Let's walk the hands into the body so they're going to be underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back to come into our first Adho Mukha Svanasana, or down dog. So spinning my triceps back, pressing into the floor evenly, repressing into the inner palms. Deep inhale here. Lifting, reaching with the pelvis up and back, maybe bending the knees to create more space and length in the back. And then begin to relax the heels, maybe coming down, maybe straightening the legs. A deep inhale to lift. So we're going to actually draw the right knee in just a little, bend the knee, and then lift the leg up. So we're bent knee, lifting the leg up and back, and then we're going to externally rotate. So we're going to draw our right knee out to the side. So our left heel comes sort of hovering way above our left knee, our left glute. Deep inhale here. Keep pressing. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest, place it on the floor, coming into our, lower your left knee down, coming into our pigeon pose. So pressing into the palms, lifting up. I'm going to shuffle my shoulders side to side, just opening up my hip. So here I'd like you to keep pulling your right hip back, your left hip down. You may notice a little bit more opening in your left psoas, like front hip flexor area, maybe in your glute, your right glute. Just keep pressing into the floor. Keep pulling the tailbone towards the left back of the knee. Keep breathing. Very good. Shuffling, maybe just moving a little bit more, moving your hips side to side. We're just opening our hip and our glute up just a little bit here. Piriformis. And then when you're ready, curl the back toe under, and then we're going to lift that back knee up. Pull our right knee back into our chest, and then lift it straight up and back. We're still bent knee. We're going to draw our knee back into our chest, shift forward, place our foot right center of the hands. Very good. Press into the floor with your left hand. We're going to reach with the crown of our head, keep our left heel facing up, firm that knee away from the floor, and begin to twist towards your right side, opening your right arm up straight towards the ceiling or sky, wherever you are. Keep pressing into that left palm. Keep pulling that right hip back and into the body. Exhale to release the right hand to the floor. Lower the back left knee down. Maybe grab your blocks if they're close by. And then we're going to shift our hips back. Bring your blocks with you. Pull onto your right heel. Hips are over your left knee. And I'm going to flex my foot to point up. Maybe you pull your heel forward just a little bit. Everybody's a different proportion, so you may need to adjust. Coming into our Hanumanasana. So keep pulling your right hip down and back. We're trying to keep our hips forward, even to the front of the mat. Deep inhale, maintain space in the spine, no hunching here. So we're tipping over top of that right leg, right? And we're twisting just a bit, pulling our chin in line with the right foot. Deep inhale. Exhale, rebend the front knee, plant the hands back down, curl the back foot under, lift the knee, press into the left palm, and again, twisting towards the right side. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the hand back down, lower the back knee, coming back into our Hanumanasana. This time maybe pulling your pinky toe in towards your body. Maybe shifting your hips side to side. And then next exhale, let's bend the knee, plant the hands again. We're going to lift the back knee up. Again, opening up to the right side. Extend, reaching from palm to fingertips. Keep firming that left hip away from the floor. Exhale, release the palm back down. One more time. uncurl the back toe, lower the knee. We're going to extend hips back over the left knee, maybe drawing the heel forward, flexing that right foot up, pulling the pinky toe in, and back into our Hanumanasana. Very good. Now rebend the knee, maybe moving your blocks just out to the side for just a sec. Plant the hands down, lift the back knee up. We're going to lift the front leg to meet the back leg, coming back into our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so keep pressing into the floor, keep rooting down with the inner palms, triceps are rolling back, rotating back. Deep inhale, let's bend. So we're going to draw the left knee into the chest just a little bit to bend the knee and then extend it back. We're going to open the knee out, so internally rotating the entire leg out towards the left side. So that way then our left heel is kind of hovering above our right knee, right? And we're close to our right glute. A deep inhale here. Exhale and draw the knee into the chest. Lower the foot behind the hands onto the ground. Lower the back knee down and curl the toes, coming into our pigeon pose. Maybe swaying side to side. And in this pigeon pose, it doesn't, everybody's different, so it doesn't really matter if your foot is out further to the side. Usually if you're a little bit more flexible, your foot can go out further. Or it could be in this like complete boomerang, like pointed knee where your foot's almost pointing towards your back right knee. And that's perfectly fine too. We're just looking for the feeling of sensation, wherever you may feel it. Not pain, but sensation. So again, keep the right hip down, keep pulling the left hip back, swaying the shoulders maybe side to side, moving into the tension, keep breathing. And then on the next inhale, let's curl the back toes under, lift the back knee up, pull the left knee into the chest, keep it going back, and then pull it all the way into the chest, placing the left foot left center of the hands. Deep inhale here. Press into the floor with the right hand. We're going to begin to twist open towards our left side this time, extending the left arm maybe up towards the sky. So keeping our right heel, our back heel up. Maybe we want to keep rotating it up. Deep inhale. Keep the left hip pulling into the body, so we're firming the legs towards the midline, towards the center. Exhale, release the left hand towards the floor, onto the floor. Lower the back knee down, uncurl the toes, and let's come into our Hanumanasana. Blocks should be off to the side if you're using them. Go ahead and pull your heel forward if you need to. Hips over top of your right knee, and deep inhale here, flexing the left foot up. Remember, maintaining that neutral spine, so keeping the left hip pulling back. If you need to bend the knee just a little bit, tipping a little bit over the left hip, the left thigh. And it's just a baby twist here, so we're just turning just a little bit from the torso, not just from the shoulders. We're keeping our spine neutral. So we're just turning a little bit from down below the base of our spine, or the base of our torso. Exhale, rebend the knee, plant the hands, curl the back toes to lift the back knee up, press into the right hand, twist towards the left side to extend the left hand up towards the ceiling or sky. Keep firming that right quad up away from the floor. Keep energizing out through that heel. Yep. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the palm back to the floor. Lower the back knee down. We're going to extend back into our Hanumanasana. Pull the foot up, flexing the foot. Maybe pulling, like I have to drag my heel forward just a little bit. Remember, not relying on the blocks just to dump into them, but just as a little bit of balance here. Maybe swaying your hips side to side a little bit. I like to call it opening, so I'm moving my right hip back, opening it, and then closing it, back to neutral, opening, closing. Just little baby movements here. And then on the next exhale, let's rebend the front knee, plant the hands, curl the back toes, lift the knee up again. One more time here, we're going to press in to the floor with the right palm, twist toward the left side, opening the left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, release the hand down. And again, uncurl the toes, pull the hips back, coming back into your Hanumanasana. Swaying side to side. trying to keep our spine nice and neutral here. So if you need to bend the knee a little bit to pull the hip back, right? That's maybe what you have to do, and that's fine. I have to do that too. Very tight hamstrings all the way down to my calves, so you may notice that, and that's good. You're putting the effort here and opening it up. Okay, and then let's place our blocks off to the side again. Let's go ahead and plant our hands, rebend our front knee. We're going to plant our hands, curl the back toes, lift the back knee up, lift that left leg to meet the right foot, coming back into our down dog. Deep inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Look where you're going to float or step. Press into the palms. Use your fingers as brakes if you're going to float. Bend the knees and then just float or walk up. Let's come into our Ardha, so half lift, lifting the heart forward, keeping the belly nice and firm, tipping over top of your femurs, your leg bones. Exhale, go ahead and release. Inhale, coming all the way up, back to our Aditya Hastasana. So arms rotate out, coming straight up. And draw your hands to heart center, maybe thumbs to touch your chest. Keep your belly drawing in. Again, tailbone down. Just recentering here. A little bit of movement, maybe building up some energy. Press into the palms, opening, energizing out through the arms, the forearms, through the elbows, spreading the collarbone, lifting the heart up. Keep rooting through the feet. And then on the next inhale, let's extend our arms. So we're going to extend our arms up again. Hands keep touch. So with our prayer hands, we're going to extend straight up. Deep inhale, let's extend our arms out and back. So we're going to come into these big circles, forward to back. So keeping our core nice and strong, just these big rotations with our shoulders. So keeping our arms nice and energized out. I'm going to keep them straight. Make sure you don't run into each arm. Keep them nice and straight, nice and energized, rotating from the shoulder socket. One more time, and then we'll switch the rotation at the top. Let's switch the rotation, maybe crossing over the other arm this time. Keep the focus on the body as well. So keep the tailbone pulling down, keep the belly nice and strong, pulling the hips in towards the midline. Deep inhale, arms come back up. Exhale, bring the hands together, bring them to heart center. Again, pressing through the palms, energizing out through the forearms, out through the elbows. Let's take a nice step back with our left foot. So we're going to step straight back, bend our front knee, lift our back heel up. So we're coming into our crescent pose. Arms can extend straight up overhead. Pull the tailbone down, pull that left hip forward, keeping our hips even to the front of the mat. Make sure that our front knee is pointed towards the middle of the foot and the foot is pointed towards the front of the mat. Deep inhale here. Lifting, reaching through the body, keeping our triceps rotating forward. And then exhale, let's rotate our back heel down, keeping our knee pointed towards that front toe. We're going to extend our arms out to the sides, opening up to our left side into our Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Deep inhale. So I'm curling my right hip underneath. So pulling it under, pulling my left hip away from the floor and pulling it in towards the midline. Lifting up, reaching up, lifting my torso up off of my pelvis, softening my shoulders down, just feeling my body right now, right here. Maybe bending a little deeper into my front knee, my front leg, being sure your knee doesn't go over your heel. Deep inhale. Exhale, straighten the front leg. We're going to rotate our entire right leg to now face forward. So that way then our 2 feet are parallel, okay? And so deep inhale here, let's extend our arms up, triceps forward, reaching up, tailbone down. We're just in a wide stance here. Bring your hands to heart center and begin to tip over. So we're tipping with our pelvis over top of our legs, being sure we're sealing the outer edge of our feet. If they're not sealed, let's draw them in just a little bit closer together. Otherwise, let's come down to our half lift, release our hands to the floor, release our heads down, elbows pointing back. Deep inhale into the back of the heart in this Prasarita Padottanasana. Maybe grabbing each elbow, letting your head hang side to side, front and back maybe. Just feels good to let the head hang
And then maybe swaying, keeping our legs even so we're not bending the legs. We're keeping our front thighs lifted so we don't hyperextend our knees. So keeping a little baby micro bend, you can't even see it in our knees. We're keeping our front legs firm. And I'm just using my legs to sway side to side for my torso. So I can feel a little more opening in my legs as well. When you're ready, release your palms back towards the floor, elbows face back, lift halfway up. Deep inhale. Exhale, let's come all the way up. Very good. So this time we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to rotate our entire left leg towards the left side. Okay, so the entire leg. So knees pointed over second toe. We're going to bend that knee, extend our arms out to the side, coming into Vira 2 on the left side this time. So remember, seal the outer edge of the back foot. Okay, keeping that leg nice and firm. We're lifting up, pulling our leg into our hip socket, drawing that left hip under, just feeling ourselves for a moment. And watch the knee, maybe bending a little deeper, keeping the knee either above or behind your heel, lifting the torso up, off the pelvis, allowing space, so lifting up through the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, we're going to begin to rotate the right heel up. I have to shorten my stance a little bit. So rotate the right heel up and extend both arms up, coming into our crescent pose. So pulling the tailbone down, maybe bending the back knee, and then trying to re-straighten it here. And then exhale, release the hands back to heart center, and we're just going to drag that foot up, coming back into our Tadasana, now facing the other side. Extend the arms out to the side, and deep inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, let's extend the hands back out to the side. Nice sun salutation. Reaching up, bring your hands to heart center. Let's shift our weight to our left foot. We're going to lift our right knee up and extend back, coming into our Vira 3 this time. So we're lifting, tipping forward. So we're energizing up through that left foot. So be sure that your left foot is nice and strong. We're going to lift up, tipping forward, tipping over that left thigh, lifting up through the back leg and straightening it out through the heel. So we're lifting from the inner thigh of the back leg, pulling that right hip down, energizing out through the palms, pulling into your midline. Keep energizing from here. Exhale, begin to bend the knee, release the back foot down, plant the hands onto the floor here. So we're in a low runner's lunge. Deep inhale here. Exhale, release the back heel down. So we're rolling onto the inner edge. We're going to rotate our front foot and knee at the same time forward. So we're coming into a Skandasana. Sinking my hips down. Now, if Skandasana is a lot for you and it's really hard to get into this pose, you can hover. You don't have to come all the way down. You can use your hands. You can place also to a block behind your hip, which is really nice. So you can sit on a block, which is really nice here, just to be able to sit for a minute. When we're externally rotating that left leg, my right leg is straight out in front of me. I'm keeping my right thigh energized, right? It's lifting up. And then you can have your foot pointed up. You can have it on the side. It's best to, if you're upright, to keep your foot pointed in the same direction as your knee, okay? Always want to keep your foot and your knee in the same direction. So here, I'm going to remove my block. Maybe coming into an opening. So I'm going to extend my left arm in front, off to the side, in front of my left knee, out to the side, and then lifting up towards my right arm, towards the sky or ceiling. Maybe if you feel brave, you can come into a bind. So go ahead and wrap your left arm around to come into your back, and then we're going to extend our right arm down, bend, internally rotate, bend at the elbow, and then come behind the back to clasp the left hand. Deep inhale here. So so we're tipping from our pelvis here over top of this leg, okay? So you want to be sure that you're not just rounding your back, so we want to try to create some length here. And when you're ready, release the bind or just bring your arm back down. We're going to press into the floor and lift and shift to the other side. So we're coming into Skandasana on the other side. So bending the knee, maybe placing the block under your hip if you want to, or under your glutes if you want to. And just feeling it for a moment. And then when you're ready, if you'd like, you can extend your right arm out in front of your right leg and then out to the side. Reach and lift the left arm up towards the corner. Deep inhale here, maybe reaching for a bind. Reaching back with both arms behind your back. Lifting that left shoulder up if you're in a bind. Lifting, firming the belly in, firming it up, protecting your back. Keep breathing. Exhale, release the hands back down. Very good. And then we're going to press up. We're going to lower that left foot down, however you had it. Lower it back down. Begin to lift the left heel up as we rotate the entire foot and knee together, coming to the front of our mat now. Plant the hands into the floor. So let's readjust ourselves here. We're going to lift up, bringing our hands to heart center. Lift off, pressing off that right foot. Make sure you're nice and balanced. Lift up and back into our Vera 3. So lifting from the inner thigh to pull up, pulling that left hip down, right? We're pinning that right hip into the body because it's going to want to just collapse. Pressing into the palms, energizing out, creating length, keeping the belly nice and firm. Maybe bending the right knee a little bit. And then when you're ready, let's bring that left foot to meet the right foot, coming back into our Tadasana. Hands can fall at the side. Just noticing how you're feeling right now. Maybe you notice a lot of energy building up. Deep inhale. Exhale, release. Let's go ahead and plant our hands on the floor. We're gonna step back with our left foot and then our right foot. And then we're just gonna press up and back into our down dog. So pressing with the inner palms. Remember, spinning the triceps back, lifting the belly up, spreading the back, lifting the hips if you need to bend the knees, maybe pedaling out your down dog a little bit. So bending one knee followed by the other, just feeling your body in this moment, just connecting with yourself. And then once again, we're going to float up. So maybe pressing into the palms, lift up to the toe mounds, bend the knees, look where you're going to go. Open the palms, use your fingers to stop. If you're going to float, lift the hips up, stop yourself. And then let's just sink all the way down. And then we're just going to roll back very carefully using your core. So roll all the way back onto your backs. Knees can be up towards the sky, could be on your feet. Let's just open the arms out to the side. And let's just take a moment to breathe and sink into the floor. We've been standing up a lot. We took the whole night to sleep, and I made you guys get up and move around a lot. So now you probably want to go back to bed. I promise you'll feel energized. Okay, one more deep breath. Maybe open mouth, exhale. Very good, firming the belly. Okay. So let's come up. We're going to very carefully come back up. We're just going to sit on our sitting bones here. Let's take our arms and plant. Now either your palms can be facing out, although I do prefer for your palms to be facing, your fingertips facing forward towards the front of the mat. We're going to press evenly into the palms. Okay, my palms are underneath my shoulders and I'm leaning back just a little bit here. My feet are still on the floor at this point. Okay, elbows are going to be facing back. Elbows are going to be facing back. And so I'm going to open my chest up towards the front. I'm really opening and releasing, pressing my shoulder blades into my back, energizing out through the crown of my head, pulling my shoulders down. Okay, so I'm lifting up because I can't really go down, right? So I'm straightening my arms here. I'm going to extend my feet out so I'm on my heels. Deep inhale here, and then exhale. Firm my belly to lift my body up, coming into this reverse plank pose. So I'm energizing, pulling my hips in towards each other, pulling my tailbone down, firming my glutes, energizing through the backs of my legs, my hamstrings, opening my shoulders out. And then exhale, release, bending the knees, release the hips back down. Very good. Release all the way down. So very carefully using your abs, roll all the way back. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back, pull the shoulders down. Very important. Firm the belly, maybe pull the tailbone down. Extend the arms out to the sides. Deep inhale here. Exhale, maybe rolling the arms over so your palms are on the floor. Pulling your arms close to you, maybe coming up into a couple options here. You can just lift your legs straight up. They can also be out to the corner. We're using a lot of core here. Or you may come into a plow pose. So lifting, so make sure that you're pulling your shoulders down, creating space in your neck. You're going to firm your belly, lift from my arms. I'm going to lift my hips up and then begin to extend my legs, firming my thighs, pulling my belly up into my body. So it's actually coming down into my body because I'm upside down here. And then I'm pulling my shoulders down. So I'm creating nice length in my neck. My neck does not feel any tension here. Deep inhale here. Keep lifting. So I'm rooting from the backs of my arms here, my shoulders, the backs of my shoulders lifting up. My hips are coming up towards the ceiling or sky. And I'm keeping my front thighs nice and energized, nice and firm here. And then exhale, roll using your belly, come all the way down, or if you're in this extended, you can release your feet back to the floor. Very carefully, we're going to come back up into our Parvottanasana. So hands are going to come, palms, fingers facing forward, hopefully maybe facing out, elbows facing back, pressing palms into the floor, underneath the shoulders, extend the heels out, open the chest up, deep inhale, pressing the shoulder blades into the chest, keeping the elbows facing back. We're going to lift our hips up, firming the backs of the legs, keeping everything energizing up. Keep the belly nice and strong. Deep inhale, pulling the shoulders down, no tension in the neck. Deep inhale, exhale, release the hips back down. Once again, either legs can extend down or we can come back into plow. Remember, setting up, pulling our shoulders, tucking them under, pulling them down. Remember, my hands are going to come alongside me. I'm going to rotate so my palms are on the floor. I'm going to firm my belly, lift my hips up, and begin to extend my legs up, overhead, and behind me. So I'm lifting, pressing through the backs of my shoulders, opening, pulling them down away from my ears. And I'm just keeping my belly firm, pulling my sacrum into my body. My legs are energizing. Deep inhale. Very important to keep your torso very strong in this position. Maybe letting your legs fall a little bit deeper. Opening up your shoulders, your neck. And then go ahead and release. If your legs are up, let's bring them back down. Very good. And then just take a moment here just to relax. One more time. So you can either come into a legs up the wall, even though we don't have a wall, we'll just pretend. So if you have your block close by, press your feet underneath your knees and then press them to lift your hips up. You can bring the block under your sacrum. Again, same lineup. You want to tuck your shoulder blades, pull your shoulders down away. Make sure you have nice length in your neck. You're not corked. Your chin's just facing up, right? And so here what you can do is just lift your knees up and then extend your feet up towards the sky. So you can either do that, you can wait a moment, you don't have to do that right now, but you can either do that or come into a Sarvangasana. Sarvangasana. So Sarvangasana is a shoulder stand. And so shoulder stand, we're going to go into plow first and then lift up into our shoulder stand. So it's the same setup. We're going to use a lot of core to lift our hips up and straight up. Okay, so whichever one you choose, I'm going to go into a Sarvangasana. Deep inhale, so tucking the shoulders no matter where you are. If you have a block, you can place it under your sacrum. Otherwise, let's come up into a plow. So deep inhale, firm the belly, lift, tuck, 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 pull the shoulders down, firm the belly in, pull the back into the front body. We're extending the legs back behind us, creating space in the neck, so we shouldn't feel like we're crunching the neck at all. Maybe tucking the shoulders a little bit more, placing our hands now on our backs. Begin to lift our legs straight up. So I'm pressing with my shoulders, pressing with my triceps, lifting my hips, my legs straight up, pressing my hips forward, pulling my chest back. My shoulder blades are pressing into my chest. I'm pulling my shoulders away from my ears. Lifting, energizing out through the tips of my tips of my toes. My palms are on my back, on my lower back here, and I'm just using my elbows and my triceps to press. Energizing. If you're in legs up the wall, just notice the feeling. This can be a very calming feeling. One more breath. Keeping the belly nice and firm. Pull the hips in towards each other. Keep pulling the tailbone down if you're in Sarvangasana. Keep breathing. Just focusing on the neck, just being nice and relaxed here. And then when you're ready, release the legs back into plow, release the hands, extending them out away from the body or down the body, and then roll down. You can come up, release your feet if you're in legs up the wall. Release your feet to the floor, remove your block, and then deep inhale here. Let's come back up very carefully. We're gonna just roll back up, scoot onto the middle of your mat. I'm gonna face you guys, you could stay where you're at. And I'm just going to sit in a cross-leg pose, okay? So coming into this Sukhasana, but my legs are not overlapping each other. Deep inhale here, just noticing your body, your feelings, your energy, maybe your thoughts. And then let's lift our knees back up. And what I'm going to do is draw my left leg. We're going to come into our Gomukhasana with just our legs, okay? So I'm going to come to the outside of my left leg. So I'm bending it and crossing it to the right side of my body and then placing it on the floor. So I'm making sure that both sitting bones are able to sit evenly into the floor. And then my right leg is going to cross over the top. So my knees are stacked here, okay? So depending on your flexibility, where you are in your practice, or just how your body moves, you may be able to extend your legs out a little bit further. That's just a little bit more intense. Or there's ways to stay here and you can make it more intense too, or this could just be enough, okay? And so deep inhale, and if this is, feeling a little uncomfortable or a little bit too much, you may also place, a towel or a block right here in between the knees. My knees just, hover just a little bit, but do make sure that both sitting bones are evenly grounding into the floor, and then both your hips are evenly front, towards the mat. Okay, so maybe pulling your left hip forward. If you notice it's pulling back, we want to make sure the hips are even. So just taking this moment to root down evenly. Of course, we're tipping forward. We're in this kind of like a bend here. So we want to tip forward just a little bit here, root down evenly. We're a little bit further forward on our sitting bones here. You may notice that, and just be sure that you lift up, pulling the legs in towards each other, and then just letting them relax. And deep inhale. Make sure you have your block close by possibly. If you'd like, you can stay here. Feel free to stay here, maybe placing your hands just lightly on the sides of the top leg, so on the shin, and then also or the calf, and then the outer edge of the lower edge of the right thigh. Or you may also come into a slight forward fold. So begin to pulling the hips forward. So I'm tipping over top of my legs. I'm not rounding my back. I'm just tipping over and then walking my hands forward. If this is a lot right here, you can stay here. You may also place a block in front of you long ways or on your side if you're more flexible, and then release, keeping your belly very firm to support your lower back, releasing your forehead onto a block. And just keep breathing. Just noticing how you're feeling, noticing maybe any tensions in the body in this position. You may notice the hip flexors feel a little bit tight, maybe it just feels really awkward. Being sure you have no pains in the knees. If you do, maybe backing off this pose just a little bit. If you feel you are ready to go a little bit deeper, you may lower your block and just come a little bit deeper, keeping your belly very strong, tipping over the legs, lowering your forehead onto the block. Breathing into the back of the heart, opening the back body up. One more breath. And then when you're ready, you can, if you're folding forward, you can walk up, remove your block just off to the side here, right? So it's out of the way. If you're already up, you can just take one more deep breath here, everybody, and then relax. And then let's uncross the legs. So we're going to uncross the top leg very carefully. You can extend it out around in front of you. And then let's just bring our feet in front of us, flat on the floor, just wide stance. So I'm just going to lean back like I was in my Parvottanasana, palms on the floor, and I'm just going to sway my knees side to side. So windshield wipers, just to open them up a little bit, relax them a little bit. Okay, so just swaying a few times side to side, keeping the back from rounding, right? We're still opening the shoulders up here. And then when you're ready, let's come back up. So now we're going to cross the right leg on the floor underneath. So we're going to weed it through underneath the left leg, and then draw your knee so it's facing forward, right? So we're on the outer edge of the foot, of the leg, and then the foot is off to this left side here. Okay, and then now we're going to lift the left leg and place it on top of the right leg. So my knees are stacked or close to stacking here. And then remember, you can always place something between the knees here. We want to try to get the knees, pretty close here. So deep inhale here, just being sure that sitting bones are both equally pressing into the floor. You're not swayed over to one side. Maybe backing off the pose a little bit, adjusting yourself as needed if you feel off balance. Remember, keeping the hips, in line with the mat. So maybe pulling your right hip forward just a little bit. Maybe your feet can come out to the side just a little bit more, just noticing there's no pains in the knee. If there's pain in the knee, adjust a little bit. So let's just breathe. Full embrace of inhale into the body, into the lungs. Exhale, softening the shoulders down. And then if you are going to go into a forward fold, you can begin to walk the hands forward, playing with that just a little bit, maybe grabbing your block, placing your block in front of you longwise first, starting out in baby steps, maybe releasing your forehead to the block. You may notice too that one side is tighter than the other, and that's perfectly normal for everybody. We are always a little bit, imbalanced, but just noticing that and taking note of it for the future. Maybe something happened too. Maybe you slept funny, maybe, you're just drawing a little more attention to the left side today or the right side. I also like to kind of sway my body like we've been doing side to side here. So just being sure that you're able to tip over the legs. So we're tipping our pelvis over, our front hip bones are tipping over just a little while keeping those sitting bones rooting into the floor so we're not lifting off the floor. And then just breathing here. Just finding ease in this pose that may be a little bit intense, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Just noticing if you're clenching your legs still, and being able to give yourself permission to let it go, to allow it to soften, to become easeful. One more breath, keeping the belly nice and strong. And then when you're ready, if you're up, let's breathe. If you're bent over, back up. Maybe removing our block off to the side. Deep inhale here. Exhale, let's release the left leg off the top. And then again, let's just bring the feet out in front of us. And we're just going to do the same thing. So our windshield wipers, palms are under the shoulders. And I'm just swaying side to side. My hips are moving as well. So it's organic movement side to side. Move with what works for you. And then when you're ready, let's cross the legs in front of us. Just coming into maybe a Sukhasana just to close out. Bringing your hands to heart center, maybe your thumbs to touch your chest, energizing out through the elbows, keeping the belly nice and firm, lifting up. And just showing gratitude for ourselves and being grateful for waking up and starting the day off right. I hope this helps you become a little bit more focused today and feel a little more enlightened and bright-eyed and sunny for the rest of your day. And do so. Continue to do these morning flows. They're wonderful. They make you feel so good. I promise you'll feel so much better throughout the day. And when you get into a jam, it will help you feel a little bit more centered to get through it. So just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here and guide you through this. And namaste. I'll see you next time. Be sure to make sure that you subscribe to my channel too as well for all of my yoga and fitness as well. I have a lot of stuff restoring the body as well. So namaste.